All right, I think I'm recording. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. How's Nevada?
It's good. The weather's just starting to get warm. We just got a new apartment. Well, almost. We'll see.
This one?
No, I'm dog sitting. This is a house. It's really nice.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, yeah, we can't afford a house right now.
Hopefully soon. Perfect. So I wanna talk about like kind of continue the fake news. But this time from a little bit of mm, neuroscience or I don't know, maybe psychology perspective. So let's look at this cool video first. Let me know if you don't hear the audio so that I can pause it. Can you see the YouTube video?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
I've got some fun things to show you today. Okay. Everybody at home and Amory and Kelsey, I'm going to play you a clip right now, and you tell me what word you hear. Check this out. Okay, what word did you hear, Amory?
I heard green needle, but it's the first one I read.
And Kels?
Green needle, but I was looking at green needle.
Okay, now I want you to look at the opposite word.
Okay.
And tell me what you hear. You at home do this as well.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What?
I only hear green needle.
No.
What?
I wish you had a cat.
Did it work for you?
Yeah.
Perfect. So what I guess understand is that bridging to our conversation, how you basically listen, hear, understand visually whatever news, right? It's gonna be the definition in your brain, you know what I'm saying? Your mind. So it really matters what your background is or what your bias is, right? For example, here it was visually when you look at left or right. You know what I'm saying? Left word or right word. So what do you think? Like in terms of, let me sorry if it's a little bit vague. Let me give you an example. So in Iran, for example, we see like a short video from the war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, and the guy who's telling the news is basically saying in a statement, right? And then the same video is broadcasting in, let's say, US, in other medias, other basically sources, and again the MC or the host is also saying another thing, another statement, and these two statements, even though they're basically coming or concluded from the same video, are total opposite, right?
Mhm.
So how can you like, I don't want this to happen, because for example,
You don't want there to be able to be like two different narratives.
no, I think it's good that we are not listening to one single source, because that's dictatorship, right? But what I'm saying is that it's the same topic. Let's say it's a topic that I care about, Iran, and I look it up. I want to know what's happening, but I'm confused now. I'm watching the same video from two different sources, but they're saying two different, total opposite things. Which one
Like
is?
one video is from Iran and one video is from the US.
No,
Or you're
no.
saying
It's the
general.
same video, right?
Mhm.
This is literally the same video, right? But they're broadcasting from two different sources. One is against the current government in Iran. One is with them.
Well, I think that's just like has to do with the integrity of the journalism and the outlet that you're like going with, because traditionally, and I also have my own problems with this in general, but like news, like journalists, we're supposed to be unbiased, right? So we just report what is happening. We just show you the video, and you look at the video and you get your own opinion, you get your own like, do I like Iran? Do I not like Iran? Is what's going on bad? What's going on good? Like our job, my job is just to present the facts, right? But at the same time, I'm gonna find a story. I'm gonna interview people that like align with my views and the story that I want to tell. So like that's where I think in journalism it gets it can be like hard because you're supposed to be unbiased and you're supposed to come at these situations just as someone who's just reporting on the facts, right? But each person has their own viewpoint and they were raised a certain way, and they like I'm dating Mehdi, so obviously like I have a different perspective of Iran than like someone else would. You know what I'm saying? But then when it comes to like fake news, like deep fake news, that stuff is, in my opinion, not news at all. Like I don't think that that even counts as news, because it's coming from these people who are pushing things, right? They're pushing these agendas, especially on Facebook. That's like
Correct.
trying to make you believe something. And that's not what news is. Because for me, why I'm doing this, why I'm a reporter, is I think that journalism and news helps promote democracy, right? Like free
Yeah.
press is in line with a democratic society because we hold people accountable, right? Like we go in and we see the politicians, we interview them, we see all these issues, we bring them to light so the public can be like, hey, this is what's going on. But when you're like doing fake news, or when you read fake news, and now it is super hard to distinguish like what is real and what's not real. Because I don't know, even seen like AI can make literal fake anything now. So you can like watch an interview and it could be fake. And that's kind of scary because then it's like, what is real and what's not real?
No, but
And
that's what I'm saying. You can there are ways to avoid it, right? To figure it out. That's why I'm saying multiple sources are good, but also at the same time, some issues like in Iran are binary. You're either against the government or you're either with people, right? Sorry, they're the same. You're either with government or you're with people, right? So it's binary. It's 0 or 1. So even though if you have multiple sources, we have a lot of sources of news, different channels. It's still a binary choice. You gotta pick left or right, right?
yeah.
That's hard. If you have 3 choices, that's a little bit easier. You go with the majority.
Yeah.
But here it's binary. And I think both sides, it's fair to say that plant fake news to direct people, maybe play with their emotions. Um,
Yeah. And I
Sometimes
think,
it works on me perfectly. And it makes me confused. Um, yeah, yeah. Tell me about that.
well, I think that we have two very different experiences. And I don't know if I can, to be honest, I don't think I can ever understand your perspective on that because
But I mean, you've read 1984, right?
yeah, I have read that book and that is very intense. And I think again, that comes
Yeah, in
back.
some extent, let's say it's like that.
I know that you want to talk about fake news and stuff, But do you think that like propaganda and fake news are the same thing? Is that what you're kind of saying?
No, 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 no. I don't care about that, but what I care is that propaganda, one of the best tools for that is fake news, right?
Yeah.
So that's like one is cause of the other, or one is, the goal or whatever. Yeah, I just want to talk about that relationship. And as a journalist, I understand that most of the times you just do your job, do the report,
Mhm.
interview, and send the materials. But is there like I don't know, an agreement or saying that don't censor my report, right? Because they do. Sometimes when let's say you do an interview with someone, with
Mhm.
the with like a person in government, and you record the audio, right? And you send it to them, and they can cut it, they can easily change it, and now with AI, it's really, it's possible and really easy. Um, for example, you say something happened before something in your interview. I can easily change it.
Yeah.
Totally easy. I'm doing this right now. Not right now, but what I'm saying is that I work on something like that in my research.
Yeah.
Try to understand, is this possible to detect? For example, you give me two different audios and you tell me which one is which one is AI, which one is real, like human.
You can't
Uh,
detect, right?
you can't, yeah. It's the probability is like almost zero because all of those language models trained over some data sets, right? So what is the data set? Training data set. It's they gathered all the data throughout the internet, and we as humans are source of the data. So
Yeah. I mean, there is I think in that situation there really is no way. You just have to trust the source that you're listening to or not trust the source you're
mhm,
listening to. Like, for example, I'm doing a piece right now,
mhm.
my first feature. Go listen to it at the nevadaindependent.com
Sure,
on
sure.
Tuesday.
I'll send me the link. I'll put it on the for real. Yeah.
Um, so I'm doing a feature now,
And
and
also, while sorry to interrupt you, while you're talking, also look at this little picture and read
is
the
that
caption.
Hillary? Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can tell that that is
Yeah,
fake.
yeah, yeah. But bro, right now you can tell. But back then, 1977, they didn't even have phone. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't judge people. Go ahead.
sorry.
What?
Sorry, I gotta pick this. I got a little judgmental there.
No
But
worries.
um, it depends on the integrity of the reporting. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's a big debate. Like what you're asking me is not something that's like, I don't think that there's actually an answer. Like I've taken classes where the whole class was just a debate about fake news and like the
Mm-hmm.
direction that the media is going because people don't trust us anymore. And it's mostly all online now. Like
Yeah, yeah,
any,
yeah. No, 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 no. Wait, 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 wait. Sorry, sorry.
yeah.
So, let's say in Iran, a revolution is happening, right?
Yeah.
Planting fake news, they don't, the government, that's at least that's what I think. They don't want people to believe the fake news. They just want to distract people, make them angry, play with their
From the real.
emotions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that they don't, let's say, gather together, right? And do like a big movement to make it like a big revolution, right?
Yeah, but in Iran, do you have journalists?
Yeah.
You have journalists. But won't they get like, can't they get in
Censorship,
big
censorship,
trouble?
censorship.
Yeah, isn't there a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, yeah. Trouble too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They go to jail. Yeah.
and so like that's not an actual free press. And so yeah, your government is controlling the narrative.
Do you think they
And
should work or they should quit?
the government?
Bro, journalist.
In Iran.
Yeah, because
I
it's
think
not like
I
ethical,
think
right?
I
Moral,
think
whatever.
that the journal, I think they have to keep going. I think that like that work is critical to the revolution. Because if you don't have those journalists
No,
like
but they
getting,
get censored.
yeah, but like those journalists that are taking those pictures that we're seeing here that are making us pay attention, they're risking their life to get that information out in the world. And if they didn't do that, no one would know.
No,
I'm saying?
Alex, you.
I don't know what you're
I
trying to
think,
get
yeah,
out of.
exactly. Yeah.
This is what you
No.
also
Let me.
learn is as a journalist is like you can't lead me into questions. That's not the
Bro,
truth either.
you gotta lead, right?
I have to lead because you're asking me the questions. That's my truth.
Sorry,
You can't say your
it's
truth.
not a, it's not a.
That is not authentic journalism.
Sorry, it's not like that here.
I'm just kidding.
Um, for example, in Iran, there are two type of, let's say, journalists.
Yes.
Journalists. So one type, first one, are good people. So they know what's happening and they try to at least broadcast what's going on. Another type is they're with government, right?
Hmm.
They
So
support them, they try to
they're hired by the government.
yeah, and they like get money or they get like nice positions, high positions in, in the system. So but they know also the things that are happening, they're really bad, right? But they decide because of money, because of whatever, not to basically they ignore it and they keep doing and fake news, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, now it's better. Do you understand it?
Now I understand better.
Yeah. So what do you think about those kind of people? Like they're bad.
Bad, bad.
Yeah, bad. So they're like basically um hurting people, right? Directly people. So playing with their emotions. And basically you can easily kill someone by playing their emotions. Like the video that I showed you,
Hmm.
um, one word can be positive, one word can be negative, and it totally um it shapes your brain. So you've heard probably about trauma that um when something happens to you in your childhood, it gets stuck to you through your whole life, right? For example, let's say to my son, if every time I hit him and I tell him, you're just a loser, right? The chance that he's gonna be a loser in the future is gonna be really high, and
Or
vice
the
versa.
that
What?
he might not even have to be a loser, but he'll grow up believing he's a loser.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the statistics, the chance. So probably out of 100 people, 80 of them gonna be a loser, really depressed. 20 of them are gonna be like, the fire when you put more woods into fire, it gets bigger. They're probably gonna achieve high and somehow defeat their bad parents, right? Um, but what I'm saying is that I'm talking about the chances, and vice versa. If you say good things, um, probably it's gonna be like he or she is gonna do good things in the future, right? It's just chance. Um, Same thing for the basically people who narrate the news, right? A lot of people don't have access into Facebook in Iran. They don't have multiple sources. They only have TV, like say let's say in rural areas, right? And in Iran, it's really it's all controlled by government, all the channels, exactly like 1984. So, for example, you can't go to an interview on TV and show an instrument, musical instrument, because it's against some 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 um some terms in Islam, or at least in their, I don't know, laws, whatever. You know, this kind of stuff. Or you can't have, I can't cut all my beard and go to, I have at least have a little bit of beard. Or women have to have hijab on TV. So yeah, and there are a lot of, you know, journalists who are in the system and helping this to happen. You know, it's like broadcast channels. Um, how do you feel about that?
Um, well, I think it's really wrong. I think controlling people like that, and they know how much power they have. Like when you have a platform and people listen to you, you know how much power you have to influence people. And if, in my opinion, if you don't use that platform to actually help people, like for real, then I think you're a bad person. But I also know that it can be complicated, right? Because
Yeah, let's think about those complicated cases where,
like maybe the government is like,
yeah, if you look at here, can you see my screen?
yeah,
So types of fake news. No intention to cause harm, but has potential to fool. False connection. Visuals or captions don't support the content. That's also like waste of time, but that's also fine. Misleading content. Misleading use of information to frame an issue or an individual. That's what I'm talking about. False context. When genuine content is shared with false contextual information. That's also bad. Imposter. When genuine sources are impersonated with false made up sources, same. Manipulated. It's also bad. Doctorated photo. Like Hillary. Um,
our girl Hillary,
yeah.
bless her.
Um, Fabricated content. New content is 100% false. That's Iran. I mean, government in Iran. Designed to deceive. Okay. Yeah. So it's like, actually, I think it's like a maybe hot content. Sorry. Hot maybe field of research.
I think that the only way to fight things like that is through honest journalism
Mhm.
or advocacy. Maybe, I don't know, you could say advocacy or whatever. But like
Mhm.
getting the truth out there somehow. Even fake news here, like you read something on Facebook that's completely bullshit. Like the election, the 2020 election, or the one that they said was false, you know, Biden. When was that? That was 2020?
2020, I think.
Yeah, that was 2020 because we're gonna have another presidential election and that's gonna be a shit show. And I'm not excited to be a reporter during that time. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Tell me about the campaigns and stuff about the election.
It's just bullshit. And
But
it's
it works. Yeah, I don't care. You know,
it's
you're
working.
talking about you're analyzing it, right? But the reality is different. It's working.
It works,
Right.
but it's just like it's the campaigning. It's these people coming. And if you're a good if you're good at campaigning and if you're good at like connecting with people, they're gonna believe you. That's why everyone is coming to Nevada because Nevada's a swing state. So
Oh,
like
is it?
we could go either way. Like we could vote for
What's your side?
my political affiliation.
Yeah.
I should talk about that because I'm supposed to be biased, but everyone can probably guess.
Everyone can what?
They can probably guess.
Oh, okay. I think I know.
But yeah, we can go either way. So you see all these like politicians, like Kamala Harris was here, the vice president.
Mhm.
She talked about abortion rights and abortion access. And yes, what she talked about, I talked about this with Medi a lot. I like her a lot, but Medi doesn't like any politicians at all, really. Because yes, she
Matthew
was,
likes me.
yeah, he definitely likes you. But she's coming here because she wants our votes, right? Not because she wants to like talk to us. And then in like a couple weeks ago, you know DeSantis? He's
No,
the
no.
governor of Florida and he's running for president. He came to Nevada
Yeah, I've
for a,
heard about it.
for a fundraiser. And I'm putting that in my story because like one of the main talking points of this fundraiser was basically anti-trans, like anti-LGBTQ plus community, right? Like saying how we need to limit their rights essentially. And this doesn't make any sense at all.
So
But
they're
that's
saying, wait. So no rights to LGBT, they're against LGBTQ community. Okay.
in not so many terms, right? Like they're saying like they create these laws. They don't say, oh, this is explicitly against LGBTQ plus community, but it is.
Yeah, I would call them Islamic Nazis.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah. But let me ask you this. I was talking about it with one of my friends. I think again back to the I'm connecting points right now. So back to the point of having multiple sources for at least getting some ideas about fake news and stuff. Um there you have two sides, right? Left and right, and the balance between them is basically helping, right? I know it's really I'm not a fan of being against LGBTQ, but I also understand that having someone against LGBTQ gives, some 1 second. It's basically
Was that your mother-in-law?
yeah. Yeah, they're leaving. Yeah. 1 second.
Later. Hey, what are you watching? Airplanes?
All right. Yeah, and also we have a lot of people who are straight and are also like fan of LGBTQ, like their thing, they're supportive. So I think the balance is good.
Yeah, and
But in
that's what
Iran, it's only one. I mean, we have two sides, but one is, yeah.
and that's like I'm glad you brought that up because that's also a big part of what being a journalist is and like what you learn you have to do is you can't just present one side. That's what the unbiased part comes from, right? You have to present each side. So like in
Yeah.
any story that I do, I can't just say, hey, I'm just gonna interview someone who's pro LGBTQ plus. I mean, and it doesn't have to be someone like explicitly against LGBTQ plus, but it has to be someone with like this different perspective. So people and the idea with that is you're giving people the information. You're giving them both sides. You're giving them like this holistic view of things so that you can make your own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you like in a places like Iran, when you only shove or like push one narrative, like one perspective, no one has the opportunity to make their own decision. And that's like,
Again, one connection. If you look at only the left word, you're gonna listen more here.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
has
yeah.
one word, right? One, but you gotta be able to switch. So actually here, I want to continue the video and maybe just I'll let you wrap up this episode, but let's continue this. It's really cool.
Oh, look at her face.
Camera in my brain because what just happened was an explosion.
Okay, I know everyone wants to do this again. Okay, so what I want you to do, we've got this on a loop. So stare at the one and listen to it, and then stare at the other one and listen to it, and try to figure this out. Okay, go ahead. Go.
needle. That's the problem.
Oh, some people have said that. I tried to
Now, try to look at her head, like kind of in the middle of both words. Probably you're gonna listen. You're gonna hear brain needle, something like that. But I wanna mention something about that.
look in the middle to see if it would.
Yeah, if I look at her
I hear brain
face,
needle.
if I look at her face, I hear brain needle. But if I look at like green needle.
Did that work? So, what I wanted to mention is that looking at multiple sources of news, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're able to identify the fake news, but at least if you look at between these two words,
Oh, this is a
it's
metaphor.
weird. Yeah, you know, brain needle, it doesn't make any sense. You at least get curious if you care and
Yeah.
you go and look further. So that was the, I think, message I wanted to connect, you know, brain to our conversation. Would you like to talk about this a little bit?
Well, I think that was brilliantly done, Behrad. It's a brilliant way to tie this all together because that really makes sense in like in a way a tangible way that can make someone really understand your point. So props
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. You present these two ideas and then people can get their own, if they're curious enough, like if that's what they want to do.
Because
Like,
you don't want, I don't want push people, you know, if something is right, I believe that humanity is like about kindness and stuff. So I
I
think
agree.
if we just let people live and, you know, they're gonna figure it out. Yeah, sorry, I
Yeah.
talked too much.
Like, I mean, even the people in the government in Iran, like if they were presented with the reality of some of the people, right, that they're harming, or if someone came to them and like told them the story, how many of them would honestly be like, still fuck you? Like
Exactly.
how many of them would be like, fuck, this is a person?
Exactly. I totally believe that if you let them experience, they're definitely gonna like switch their sides.
Yeah. Because I think in those kind of positions also, it's so easy to ignore everything that's happening.
Yeah,
Like you're aware of it, right? But it's
yeah.
for you to be like,
And in
doesn't
unconscious
affect me.
mind,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like far, far away from me. It's even like someone like me who I'm so far away from Iran, right? Like I'm not involved. I don't know what that situation's like. So
Are you a
I could
Trump supporter? Oh,
no,
okay.
I can easily say that. Absolutely not.
Biden?
Not really.
Who then? Who? I don't know.
Well, to be honest, I like Kamala Harris. Let's have her become president.
Oh, okay.
But no, I just think that Biden is he's a little too old. And I don't want to
Oh,
be
okay.
ageist, but
Yeah.
it's still just this kind of like old white man kind of thing.
So, yeah.
And I think we need some radical change. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
for that.
So,
But
go ahead, wrap this up.
oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, so it's like it's easy when it's not affecting you to ignore the issue. But I want to shed light on the issues so people can ignore them because I think it's important that we involve ourselves in everyone's struggle because your struggle is like my struggle and
I
vice
see.
versa.
I see.
Yeah. And that's why I do
Perfect.
this work.
That's sorry.
That's why I do this work.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. It's an honorable job, you know, to carry the truth as much as you can. You know, you just do your job and make sure that it gets delivered in the most in the purest how do you say it?
Yeah.
Pu-
Form, the purest
yeah,
form.
purest form. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then but you also want to make it something that people want to listen to.
Yeah,
or
that's marketing. Yeah, that's different. But you don't have to. You know what I'm saying. You don't have to harm people.
yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm excited for you to listen to my
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Me too. So, Alex, give me a rhyme in Spanish with da ver. You remember?
Yeah, we did make a rap.
The complete song is gonna come out soon.
I'm
So
excited.
mark your calendar. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for your time. So yeah, please stay in touch. Yeah, and I'm
Say
saying
goodbye to your
say
friend.
hi. Bye, Meti. Ciao, Kerem. Yeah, thank you.